People need to know about what fractional reserve banking is. Right? Because how people justify usury is a trick. Because what they say is, okay, if I lend you money, you should give me something back. I could accept that. I think most people could accept that. I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, in the Islamic world, even when there's no interest loans, there's service charges and other things which are not interest. The evil of usury is this fractional reserve banking, is the compound interest, the interest on interest, the unending time, and this a graph. Now, let me try to explain that and unpack what I'm saying. Okay, if I lend you $100 and I ask you to pay me $100, but since I don't have the use of it, if you could just give me a little $5 more, right? That's a one-time fee. But people don't even know when they go to a bank. You know, they have an APR rate and then they have another rate. People don't even know what these things mean. So you are asked to pay not only the interest of that $5, right? But then you're asked to pay, if you don't pay in a certain amount of time, I'm going to charge you interest on that $5, which never existed before. And then if you don't pay that, that's $7.50 I'm going to charge more interest on that.
Doubling and tripling.
That's right. So you're paying not only interest on principal, you're paying interest on interest. Interest on things that never existed. Never existed. And this is why you start to get this compound interest. Now people, if anybody knows about finance and investing, you would see this line, they say the magic of compound interest. It goes up like this. Now nothing in nature does that except cancer and disease, because it will go up to infinity. And you will never be able to repay infinity debt. This is why people don't know that the first currency in the United States was not the dollar, it's the continental. And the continental crashed. Who says the dollar can't crash, right? It's trillions, a billion, and to think about this, we cannot count to a human being can never count to a billion in their life. Never. And to get an idea of, if since from the time of Jesus Christ, you spent $1,000 every single day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, every day, non-stop, spend $1,000 through the collapse of the Roman Empire, the rise of the Ottomans, the Renaissance, imperialism, or whatever, communism, the fall of communism, up to today, you will not have spent $1 billion. It would be, I think the figure is around just under $800 million.
The reason why the Lord God has prohibited usury is there in Hinduism, is there in Judaism, is there in Christianity, is there in Islam, probably there in Buddhism as well. The reason why the Lord God has prohibited money being lent and borrowed on interest is because wealth will no longer circulate through the economy. The Quran says, the Lord God does not want that wealth should circulate only amongst the wealthy, which is the economy around the world today. When wealth circulates only amongst the wealthy, everybody understands this except the scholars of Islam. I don't know where they study. When wealth circulates only amongst the wealthy, then the poor will remain permanently poor.
With respect, I want to even deepen that and say it's worse than what you're saying.
Yes.
That's bad enough if the wealth is flowing just among the wealthy. What usury does, the wealth flows from the poor to the wealthy.
Correct.
It creates these cash flows where ultimately, and this is what the world economic system has been, that so wealth is flowing from the poor countries to the rich countries through these loans. It may be low interest, but when you do it over time and you're charging interest on things that never existed, interest on interest. It adds up. So you just as you buy a house for $1 billion and you're paying $3 billion, right? So people who buy their house on a long-term mortgage, a 30-year mortgage, you're paying 10 times the price for your house, and this is the flow from the poor to the rich. Now, I'd like to explain the fractional banking system.
This is
quickly.
music in my ears, Dr. Meighoo. Go ahead.
Because it shocked me the first time I understood this regularly. How does a bank make money and exist? They have permission from a government to do this. If you give me $100, I can now lend you $90, you another $90, you another $90, you another $90, up to a certain amount, and that's where it was only determined by law. Nothing, which is convention, which can be manipulated. You could get parliamentarians and others and buy and sell them to. So now, I have now created on the books $100 from you, 90 from this one, 90 from this, and they're going to pay me back with interest. So I've created now about 5 to 10 times the amount. I've created $1,000 out of thin air from the
money.
Yes, that you gave me. Now,
Fictitious money.
exactly, absolutely. It's all on paper. It's all in your bank account. Now, and how do you know this? Because if you now come to me and ask for your $100 back, I say I can't give it to you. I don't have it. Because I don't. I've lent it out already. And that's what a bank run is. A bank run is when everybody says, "Can I have my money, please?"
Right away.
The bank doesn't have it. It was created out of thin air.
That's right.
It is a pure fiction. It is thievery. It is nothing else except that.
Legalized theft.
That is right. To relate this now to your to about gold. Gold was the limit on this fractional reserve system, because when the US dollar was backed by gold, there was a certain limit. They were fearful to take that creation of money beyond, because you were guaranteed. That's why there used to be the saying in the United States, as good as gold. When you took your dollar into a bank, they were obliged to give you the equivalent in gold, which is why they had Fort Knox and all those things. And that system underpinned the Bretton Woods system from 1944 up to 1971, when Richard Nixon decided to take away the US, to delink the dollar from gold. Now all of a sudden, there was no more restriction. They could create as much as they wanted. Interest rates could go sky high. They could do almost anything. They created all these derivatives. So they create these bubbles, these unsustainable wealth things, and crashes. The crashes become more and more devastating because it is unpayable debt.
Okay.
And while they're taking collateral for your loans with this fake money, they're taking your property. And that is what's happening.